That's great. You are a few minutes early. Right on time. I love that. Cool. Give me just 1 second. I'm just finishing up my paperwork from my last client. Okay. Check it off. Cool. Well, first, I want to start by thanking you for being here. I know as a new member to the gym, it can be a little overwhelming, but that is the point of our meeting today, so that I can get you familiar with everything here, so I can answer any questions that you might have, and I can get to know you a little better to see if there's things that I can do to help you support your goals. Does that sound good? Cool. So this is a free consultation, no strings attached. You get it when you sign up as a member to the gym. And then after this, if you decide to hire me, we can meet again as soon as next week even to go over more information about how I can help you meet your goals. That can be things like planning your nutrition and your meals. That can be things like going through exercises and building a custom plan for you, talking about the pros and the cons of different training styles and philosophies, figuring out really what's best for you and your lifestyle and your short and long-term goals. But if you do hire me, I think what we would do is we would have a session where I would just spend time measuring you. Nothing crazy, no judgment, but I find that it's helpful to get before measurements when you're starting a new journey like this, so that we have something as a baseline to compare to, say a month, 6 months, a year down the road, and we can see just how far you've come. So again, no strings attached, no pressure. You can let me know if you decide to hire me, and then we can take those next steps and we can schedule those meetings together. Okay? I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit. It is your first time here, so I'd like to introduce myself. My name is John. You already knew that. I am the lead certified personal trainer here at the gym. I wasn't always on the East Coast. I actually used to be a celebrity trainer out on the West Coast. I lived in the LA area, and I had some notable clients. Let's see. I used to train this lady. Her name is J-Lo. Yeah, that's me in the back there. Apparently back then I had dreadlocks. But she's a pretty good singer. I also trained people who did movies. There was this guy, Gerard. He was a pretty cool dude. We trained him for this role in that movie 300. Yeah, it was a pretty intense experience. And then it was pretty sad though. After he did that movie, he really let his physique go to shit. So then there's this guy. His name's Chris. He's a nice guy too. He played Thor. Everybody knows Thor. I think that even though I trained him, and I probably have some kind of personal bias, I think Thor is probably my favorite character in that series. Yeah. Hulk. Yeah. I think Hulk's a pretty close second for me. But I think Thor takes it. Thor is sexier than Hulk. I mean, yeah, I guess it does come down to personal preference. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked, and I want to respect your time. Okay. What was also cool is while I was training Chris for his store role, I also trained his stunt double. Yeah, this really nice guy. His name is Fred. He was really nice. I really enjoyed training him, and apparently now he stopped doing big budget films, and he's a YouTuber. Yeah, it's cool, huh? Oh, you watch a lot of YouTube? Yeah. Honestly, so do I. I'm huge into YouTube. Yeah, Fred. Yeah, I can give you the link to his channel. You can check it out. You might like it. Yeah, it's really interesting. He's a nice guy. Okay. Okay. Anyway. But I'm back to, I'm glad to be back on the East Coast now. I have family back here, but yeah, I miss those Cali vibes. Cool. Okay. Enough about me and my celebrity clients. What I'd like to do is just go over, you filled out 2 questionnaires. There was a short questionnaire and then the long questionnaire. So we'll start with the short one, just kind of go over those real quick, talk about a few things, and then I'll look through the long questionnaire. Maybe we'll pick a few things in there to chat about. Yeah, okay, sweet. Is it a little warm in here? I feel like it's like always warm in this corner of the building. Yeah, I was just over there doing Pilates instruction, and it's, just so you know, it's not as warm in that part of the building. I'm just gonna take this off. Yeah, when I'm out on the fitness floor, I don't really like walking around with a tank top on. Kind of feels a little douchey. Yeah, I don't want people thinking I'm flexing on them. Just kidding. All right. So, okay. So, it's been a while since your last checkup. Okay. Any medical concerns or anything like that might be a limitation for you? No? Okay. That's cool. All right. Just because if there is, we like to have you kind of get a doctor's approval before starting like a new workout regimen or changing anything significant in your lifestyle. Yeah? Nothing there? Okay. Good. Well, if anything does come up, throughout the course of our relationship together, let me know. Definitely don't be afraid to tell me anything, because I want to be able to make modifications to your plan if we need to. Okay? The last thing I want is to do something that's going to push you too far past your comfort level and, do something that's going to get you injured. It's just not worth it. Short-term, long-term goals. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so mainly you want to get active and just feel better. Tell me a little bit more. What do you mean by feel better? Yeah. It's understandable. Yeah. Well, I think that we can help you with that. Okay. Yeah. And so that kind of goes into the next question, which you just addressed a little bit, is sleep. Now, it sounds like you don't have the best eating habits, which are, it's kind of a domino effect, you know. If you're not eating well, if you're not moving your body, if you're not sleeping an appropriate amount, all those things kind of come together, and they really just amplify those negative feelings. They can make you more anxious. It can lead to less sleep, and so the next thing you know, you're in a sleep deficit, and maybe you're stress eating, and those things just kind of keep piling on top of each other. The good thing is that you're taking a step in the right direction by moving towards a new exercise routine. And hopefully with that, you know, we can kind of coach you a little bit on, you know, just building some better habits for, you know, eating and sleeping. Okay. Hydration. How much water are you drinking during the day? Yeah, it's not a lot. Yeah. You're okay. Mostly soda. Okay. I want to try to change that. I think a little bit of soda, you know, diet soda, something like that. It's not a huge deal. But if you're drinking that, you know, instead of water throughout the day, I think that if we get your water intake up a little bit, that would be really good. Especially if you're going to be exercising more, you're gonna need that. Okay. And what do you do for a living? Are you pretty active, pretty sedentary? Okay, yeah. Not very active there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, yeah. So we definitely have things that we can work on. I think that if we can get you moving your body, we can get you paying attention to, like we just talked about, your nutrition, water intake, and get you sleeping a little better. Oh my God, it is going to change your entire life. And what's cool is that if you fix one of those things a little bit, it has a carryover effect into the other ones. So I don't want to overwhelm you and think that we need to make huge life changes right now. Let's just start with some very small changes that I'll go over with you. And then eventually, over time, remember, we're going to take those before measurements and kind of mark our progress. And then we'll be able to look back in 6 months to a year from now. And I think that you'll probably be surprised at how easy it was to make small incremental changes and how large of a difference those can actually make over time like that. Does that sound good? Still with me? Okay. I haven't scared you away yet. I know, it can be a lot. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. So, you know, I tend to get a little bit worked up about it. And sometimes I come on a little strong. Yeah. Well, I know a lot about that because in addition to being a certified personal trainer, I'm also a holistic health coach. So I've worked outside of the gym and inside some gyms with health coaching clients that maybe don't want to focus on, exercise as much as they're trying to fix their nutrition gaps or deal with an illness or an allergy or something like that. So I have a lot of experience with that too. Yeah, and that's all stuff that we can, go over. Okay, let's see. What else we got here? Okay, yep, so we already talked about measurements next time if you decide to hire me. I think that'll be a powerful place to start. We talked about exercises. We talked about diet and nutrition. Okay. I'm just going to go on over the list here. Looks good. Okay. So before we move on to the next part, is there any questions that you have for me or anything that you want to bring up at this point? Yeah. No, I totally get that. No, 100%. Do I really? Yes, I totally get that. Listen, this is one thing that you have to understand. One thing that you probably know, but when I explain it, you're going to be like, yeah, okay, cool. Everybody in here was a beginner at one point. Like this person back here lifting that crazy amount of weight, that is a skill progression. You know, that's something that took a long time. This person over here that's doing the crazy yoga stuff and somehow taking selfies of it for Instagram at the same time, that was a progression over time. Like, those aren't things that those people are just naturally good at. And same with me. Like, I came into the fitness game. I had my lifestyle change probably kind of late in life by most standards. It's not something that I grew up with as something that was of value in my own family. And so when I started, like it sounds like you might be, I was extremely self-conscious. I was, really anxious, and I hated going to the gym. Of course, you build up that confidence over time, but one thing that you learn, I think, that gives you more confidence is that it makes you feel better, of course. But one thing that you learn is that anybody in here who has achieved a decent amount of fitness knows that probably the hardest part is getting started and walking through those doors to come here. You know what I mean? And so what we ask for our members is that they leave their egos at the door, and that when they're here, they're helpful to other members. And you earn respect just by walking through those doors and making a decision to make yourself better. Yeah. Is that helpful? Yeah, and I mean, as cheesy as it is to say, your success is my success. I love helping people succeed. I love people. I do love people, but what I meant to say was I love giving people the information, the knowledge, and teaching them the skills that they need to become better versions of themselves. I know, it's stupid cheesy, but it's like, it's what I feel in here, and it's what I want for you. Yeah, okay. Does that make you feel better? Cool, yeah. And it's going to take a while. Look, this is new, right? So it's going to be stressful. But the more you make it a habit, the easier it gets, the better you feel. And it's going to become this thing that you're going to realize that, holy crap, like, I don't know how I lived feeling like that in the past. I really feel like it's going to be a big improvement, once we start kind of chipping away at some of those things that, we could turn into better habits. Okay. So I'm just going to go over the long questionnaire that you filled out, and I'll take a look and, see if there's anything that stands out. Okay. Okay. So in your questionnaire, you mentioned that you've tried a lot of different diet pills and workout programs before, so this isn't completely new to you. But it says that you feel like you never got really good results. You want to tell me a little bit more about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I think that you're completely right. There's really no shortcut. So diet pills, fad diets, things like that, you might get short-term results from those, like it sounds like you did, but long-term, no. Yeah. Okay. And the workouts just weren't something that suited you. Yeah, totally. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the biggest part is just finding the one thing or the things that you like, right? Trying as many things as possible. Get rid of the shit you don't like, not everything is for everybody. You might not want to be a jacked power lifter. You might not want to be a flexi insta yogi. You might find something completely different that's your thing. The important thing is that we find something that's right for you, that makes you feel successful, that makes you feel good. Okay, so we talked about that. Okay, so all that looks pretty good. There's a few things that I'll suggest that you can start working on immediately, and then as we progress, with your plan, we can go into some of that other stuff a little bit more in depth. Okay, so we talked about your specific goals of wanting to be more active and wanting to feel better, and it looked like you had a specific weight loss goal, and I think that that's reasonable. I think that it's probably going to take a little longer than what you think based on what you wrote down, but that's okay. Remember, we're thinking long term. Short term doesn't really matter. Short term is going to come and go. You want to be able to make kind of long lasting, meaningful changes. And that's why I want you to think about your why. I want you to, figure out what's the underlying motive to reach towards these goals. Because if you stick to the program, the goals that you've set are going to come and they're going to go. You're going to reach those goals. You need that why, that strong reason why you show up every day, that's going to keep you motivated over the long term, if that makes sense. Yeah? Okay. So the next thing that I want to go over is what you're going to do on the days that we're not training together. And you can do this immediately. I'm going to give you a handout that's going to detail a pretty basic 10-minute mobility routine. And we still have some time. So after we're done chatting, we'll go over there and I will demonstrate that for you. We can kind of just go through it together and I can answer any questions that you have. But again, it's just a 10-minute mobility routine. I call it muscle and joint hygiene. It's basically like brushing your teeth every day. And the intention is to get you in the habit of moving your body every day, and also just helps to kind of, keep you moving on those days when you might not be doing an actual workout. Okay. And then a couple things that you can track outside of the gym that I think will be helpful, especially to get started. Let me just look at your chart here. See what you have written down for this. Okay, yeah. So you're not currently tracking your food, or your calories, or your macros. Macros? Oh, yeah. Macros are basically, what makes up a calorie. So it's protein, fat, carbohydrates. We're not going to go too deep into that today. What I would like you to do, though, is just to start tracking the food that you're eating. I don't want you to worry about weighing it. I don't want you to worry about, writing down the calories or anything super specific. But just get a simple journal, maybe a spiral-bound notebook, or you can just even keep it in the notebook of your phone if that's easier for you. But I want you to write down everything for at least a few days, a week, like 7 days would be really awesome, and I would love you for that. Every single thing that you drink, every single thing that you eat, you put it in, you write it down, okay? And again, that's not for the purpose of tracking your calories or making any big changes at this point, but it's just to be able to know what's going in, and then I can take a look at that and I can make some suggestions. And I found that a lot of clients, once they really start realizing exactly what they're putting in, because they're being a little bit more mindful of it and writing it down, a lot of times it ends up leading to better choices just naturally. Yeah, so you're cool with that? Okay, cool. Cool. 2 more things. I want you to start drinking more water, okay? I want you to wake up in the morning, have a big, tall glass of water. Nothing crazy. I don't want you to go all bro on me and start carrying a freaking, gallon of water around. But just try to be a little more conscious about hydrating your body. That's going to do wonders for your metabolism. That's going to help you feel better. That might help with some of those headaches that you said you've been having. And it's also really good for the skin and for the organs. Yeah, I know water's plain, it's boring. But one thing that you can do is you can put, something as simple as lemon in it. And it's a little controversial, but honestly, I don't care. I use those little squeezy flavor things that you can get at the grocery store. You put some flavor in it. They have fruit punch flavors. They have blueberry, green apple is my son's favorite because he loves sour. But we use those a lot in our house. It adds a little bit of flavor, and there's no actual sugar in it, so it's 0 calorie. Also, usually, once or twice a day, I'll treat myself to a sparkling water, a flavored sparkling water. Again, 0 calorie flavor. The carbonation in it helps to make you feel more full and satisfied. Yeah, I love those. Yeah, I don't really get the expensive stuff. I just get the the store brand cans. Yeah, they're great. I find that that's a good way, if I'm craving flavor or something like that, to still drink water, but get a little something extra in there. It's almost like a little bit of a treat. All right. So the last thing that I'd like you to do is work on your sleep a little bit. Based on what you wrote down, your sleep isn't great. I really feel like you're probably not getting enough. And if you're going to try to, add a little bit of exercise in there, you might need a little bit more sleep even for recovery. So what I'd like you to do, as much as you can, is try to establish a regular bedtime and a wake-up time. This is something where consistency is going to be really good for you. I want you to try to go to bed at the same time every day. I want you to try to wake up at the same time every day. And surprisingly enough, like, once you do this for a while, your body will wake up automatically. You're going to feel more refreshed in the morning because your body's like, hey-oh, it's our time to wake up. Aim for like 6 to 8 hours. Some people need more. I would say let's start off with 7. Like, is that too much to try for? Start with 7, get that consistent for a while, and see how that makes you feel. I think that's going to be really good for you. Yeah. Every day. Yeah. No, don't take the weekends off. Not just for school days, not just for work days. Every day. Every day you wake up at the same time. Every day you go to bed. And you could do like I do and have a whole bedtime ritual, kind of a routine. We can talk more about that too. Building the perfect bedtime ritual. I would love to go over that with you and tell you more about what I do, because I feel like it's really relaxing. It's stress relieving. It helps tell my body, hey bro, it's time to go to bed. We're doing this. And it's a great way to unwind after a long day. Okay, so just those 3 things. Food journal, more water, more consistent with your sleep. And I think that's going to be a great place for you to start. Even if you don't hire me and you take those 3 things, it'll change your life. You start paying attention to those 3 things. Yeah. You're welcome. No doubt. That's what I'm here for. Okay. That was a lot for one session. I feel like I went over a lot, but I feel like that was good. You seem like you took all that in. Do you have any specific questions about any of that? Oh, yeah, good question. Yeah, I mean, I would totally love it if you would share that with me. You don't have to share it with me. That can be something that is your own to kind of track. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm here for. I can help analyze that stuff for you. I can help you be accountable for that stuff. That's all part of my job. Okay. No other questions? All right. I'll give you my number that you can contact me on. Text is better. If you have any questions or anything like that comes up, like I said, I'm going to give you that paper to go home with. And then, if anything comes up with that, or if you have any other questions about the things that we discussed today, you can just hit me up. Like, I try to be pretty available and accessible to my clients. Yeah, okay. Let me just check this stuff off here. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you think so. Yeah, no, I think this was a great session. I hope that I've earned your trust and that, we can continue working together. And, let's see. I think that pretty much everything. I have your handout back here, so I'll give this to you in a second. Okay. Alright, well, that's all for tonight, my friend. I hope that you are relaxed. I hope that wherever you are, you continue to do well. And I hope to see you again very soon.